Welcome back to the Revue. My name's Kevin. Steve, as always, our camera guy, who you don't see. One day you will, though, but not today. He's shaking his head right now. Today, we normally film our show down at Zaphod, down at the Byward Market here in Ottawa. Today we had to change location because our fine guest, Prevail from Swollen Members, one, I think he just woke up.
That is true.
But Prevail and the guys are camping out at a hotel waiting for a show at... Where's it tonight?
Ritual.
Thank you. They're playing a Ritual tonight. So we decided to come by you and check you out.
I appreciate that.
So thanks so much for joining us today. You can see we're kind of a 2-bit startup outfit here, so I really appreciate your time.
Hey, it all got to start somewhere, brother.
It's interesting though, because as I've been doing some research on you in particular with the group, you do a lot of kind of indie media.
We do.
And I know you do, I've seen you on Breakfast Television and
sure.
CBC spots, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I also did this comedy podcast out in Vancouver a couple months ago.
Oh, with Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it called? Funnyenough.ca?
Sure, yeah.
So I listened to that, and other video clips of guys kind of grabbing you backstage or stuff like that, saying, hey, I got to ask you a couple of questions. Is this kind of that part of your marketing strategy for the group to kind of stay to the ear to the ground a little bit, or how does that play out for you?
Well, as Swollen Members being independent artists from day one, it's always been important for us to be able to be stewards of the independent mentality.
Yeah.
Of course, as you said, it's almost the difference between playing small, intimate venues,
right,
and then going on up and playing in our case, a Rogers Arena, or
right.
Sorry, what's the stadium out here? The big
Scotiabank
one.
Place.
Scotiabank Place.
Yeah.
So yes, you love to be able to do both.
Yeah.
But it's each venue has its own, it demands its own respect and its own set of performance. No different with upstart media stuff to the media giants, right? But it's great to be able to do everything. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I know you guys also, I think probably Madchild more than you, are kind of a social media presence too. He's on Twitter a lot.
Sure,
and
he is.
I know you've started up on Twitter too. How do you feel in terms of connecting with your audience in that way?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Do you really feel like a lot of back and forth, or is it kind of broadcasting from you?
For me in particular, it's more about the broadcast, unless something really comes across comment-wise that I feel triggers a personal response.
Right.
No, it's awesome. Swollen Members has always been a group that is... it's been very integral for us to have feedback from our listening audience.
Yeah.
In fact, it helps sculpt our live show, and we take a lot of that into when we go into the studio as well. Did they like this song? Did they not like this song?
Right.
Album, video, what have you. So we take all those little bits and pieces and keep that in mind.
See if does that affect how you guys present your stuff?
Well, I think it just becomes something that intrinsically becomes valuable to us.
Right.
So I think you make a mental marker of it at the time and put it in the cache, and off you go.
Right.
Yeah. But the social media stuff is awesome. Of course, it's great to be able to reach out and have that one-on-one personal conversation with your fans, but it's also a great promotional tool as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. I know in terms of promotion, you guys have had a pretty successful run pretty much from 99, I guess, when the first record came out. Canada tends to be kind of a tough market to have like a career longevity, from what I gather. And in terms of, you guys kind of went up there, you were selling a lot of records, doing a lot of shows, doing a lot of tours. Is it hard in Canada to be successful at your level and not kind of saturate the market?
That's a good question. Well, as you know, Canada's big.
Yeah.
And Swollen is quite lucky in that we are able to go west to east, but we can also go north to south.
Right.
So, we play your Sylvan Lakes, your Slave Lakes, your... a lot of lakes. But we're able to go to Yellowknife and play the territories and, dip down and play deep South Ontario and get down and do some of these spots. So, no, it's as much as it's about trying not to oversaturate. You're right, but all that leads to is having fresh material.
Right.
So it's a constant encouragement for us to be able to have new music, new videos. Therefore, when we go back, we're able to do new songs, present new stuff, so it doesn't get stagnant or stale.
Right, so you're not touring the same album for 5 years in flin-flon. Right?
Sure.
Like they're not
Sure, yeah.
Oh God, Soul members are back playing that bloody record again.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, so that's an important part of it. Plus, we're lucky. After this tour, we go to Europe for 3 weeks. We go to Australia about once every year and a half or 2 years. We're working on getting back to Japan, which we haven't been to since '98.
Oh, okay.
So there's lots of markets where you're able to go and keep spreading the good word, and then come back to Canada, and it's almost with a renewed vigor.
Right. Oh, interesting. I mean, and how do you find the difference between, I mean, in size certainly, but America and Canada in terms of are there pockets that you kind of focus on, or is you kind of going coast to coast there as well?
Well, yeah,
it's a huge place.
With the States, you almost do. We do a run that is from basically Washington State. We start in Bellingham and then sort of zigzag through, and then we drop down to California, and then we dip over to Utah, and then we make our way to Colorado.
Yeah.
And then from there, on the way back, we hit those same places, but we do different cities.
Yeah.
And then we end up usually in Tacoma or Spokane and head home back to BC. Or we will do the full meal deal, west to east, get all the way over to New York. We stop in Chicago, we play DC. Then we get out to New York. Sometimes we do Providence.
Yeah.
And then we head back. Then we start zigzagging through there.
Right.
But you almost have to break it up until Chicago is your break point, and then do from Chicago onward and do the eastern seaboard.
Right.
It's because it's huge.
Oh, yeah.
City-wise, it's crazy. Their small cities are like our Ottawas and BC, Vancouvers and Calgarys and Montreals. So, it's lots of space to cover.
Well, I want to ask you about the new record.
Sure.
Beautiful Death Machine, and I don't have it right here. I'm going to actually spin over here for a sec. Pardon me. Steve, get the usual shot of the very cool looking CD there. Beautiful Death Machine debuted number 3, first of all, in Canada, which is pretty sweet. Congratulations.
Thank you. Number 1 rap album.
And then that too, so that's fantastic.
Thank you.
I was looking at the pop chart and it's pretty hard to beat Timberlake. He was number 1 that week.
Yeah, and well deserved. You know what? I've met that fine young gentleman, and he is an outstanding guy, very great talent. So it's nice to be able to keep such good company.
Yeah. I'm curious about the title, Beautiful Death Machine. It's kind of you've always had strong album titles, To the Teeth and stuff like that. Sure. Armed to the Teeth.
Yeah. Sure.
You've always had really, I guess, toughish album titles, and this is no different. But it's kind of a contradictory term, Beautiful Death Machine. Is that indicative of some kind of conflict or conflicting emotions about?
To be honest with you, we got it from...
just a cool name?
Well, we got it from Talladega Nights.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There you go.
A scene where Ricky Bobby's having trouble driving. He's lost his gumption for driving, and his dad tells him to get in the car, and there's a mountain lion or a tiger or something. I can't remember exactly what it is. He goes, "Look at that beautiful death machine."
Oh, okay.
Mad Child and I were in a movie theater. We were watching it together, and we looked at each other when he said the line, and I thought to myself, I knew instantly. I thought I was waiting to get out of the theater and tell Mad, "Okay, go ahead. You can use that line in one of your verses, right?" Because it's a Mad Child line for sure. But he said that would be a great name for an album. So we have been sitting on that title for quite some time.
Yeah, that was almost 10 years ago the movie came out.
Wow, has it been?
8?
Yeah, maybe 8, something like that. Yeah, we just watched it last night, actually. So
in keeping with the theme. Right?
Yeah, so it is something that we've been waiting to do for a while, so it was nice to be able to finally put it together, and the way that it came out, amazing. The recording process, very seamless, extremely fluid. Production by Rob the Viking, and Sealance, a couple beats from our homie Aspect, and then a plethora of great guests that really forced Mad and I to step up to the plate and just get back to the grimy.
Yeah.